All right, so real quick, this is episode 100, y'all. Episode 100 of Ask Rome. I just want to thank each and every one of you who tune in weekly or bi-weekly, whenever opportunity arises for me to be able to present each episode to you. It's been one hell of a journey. I mean, you guys, along with myself, have been able to watch my own mental health journey just in front of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been times I'm sure where you may have disagreed with my stance on things, but I really do appreciate the feedback, critical. You know what I'm saying? Like positive or negative, however you know what I'm saying, whatever. Constructive criticism, nevertheless feedback. And the days that my ego wasn't able to take certain people's criticism, yeah, you get that. It's just a test of your character and all that stuff. Is how much truth you can take, and you know what I mean, and criticism. But that's what growth is all about. You know what I mean? It's just learning and recognizing that. Those are your triggers. That's when your pain meter goes off. It's what you need to work on. But no, it's been a blast, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm thankful. I'm grateful, and it really brings me great, I'll say, joy and happiness to know that how it has impacted lives. Like some people that have seen the videos that know me personally will tell me that they didn't look at it this way, and how this kind of helped them see things differently, or like maybe looking at their own children and their relationship based off of my interpretation of what I feel went down with me and my own family, and just what I'm saying. I'm very grateful. I'm grateful what the wisdom is able to be spread, the awareness for mental health, because it's not about me. It's more about getting the message done so that others can heal. That's really what, when I started this thing, is what I wanted to embark on doing. Of course, I think there was some selfish intent and maybe a little bit of narcissism. I'm gonna say this fucking word right. Narcissism. In the beginning, and maybe some of it's still lingering there, but it's all, the thing is like embracing your dark traits as well. But ultimately, bringing people mental health to the forefront in a way that's digestible for them, that from somebody that looks like me, there's somebody that can see themselves within me, and you know what I mean, so that they can apply it to their own life. I mean, it's really what I envision for the show, and I hope that it continue. I know it's going to continue to grow, and just as I learn, I share. So anytime I come across something, I think of something, someone sends me a question that just like really sparks my brain, I want to share it as soon as possible, and just to get those minds working. You know what I'm saying? Get people's minds working. But like I said, it's been one hell of a journey. I want to thank everyone that rooted me on. I want to thank everybody that rooted against me. I want to thank everyone who didn't root at all because you had your own shit going on. I just want to, I honestly, I'm grateful. Just grateful that I was able to bring something, to YouTube that would allow others to see themselves through another individual's story. And that's really what, like I said, another thing I really wanted to do was to use my story to help others heal. That's really all it is about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, and I believe that it's helpful. I believe it's allowing people to see things through perspective versus right and wrong. I believe it's allowing people to see, how important it is to speak to your children with kindness, to instill confidence within them early, so that when they get older, they don't walk around feeling so insecure whether they can do this or whether they can't do this. You know what I'm saying? So, these are just all what I had envisioned for, like I said, for this show. And I'm grateful. I know it's gonna, like I said, I know it's gonna grow. More things are gonna be added to it. I'd love to get other people to be up here, and I'd be able to ask, what I'm saying, 3 different people questions, and then using the same thing, using their story to kind of, what I'm saying, aid others in seeing it from this perspective, or this one and that one, you know what I'm saying? But all in all, 100 episodes. Do me a favor, a solid, leave a comment, you know what I'm saying, under this clip. And please subscribe, truly. Yeah, just subscribe. And, you know what I'm saying, look out for more content from, you know, Ask Rome YouTube series, from J.E.T.Sense podcast. You know, there's more content with there. Shout out to T-Dot for the recent episode that we did, B's, DC and B, you know what I'm saying? Like, just moving. Kels, appreciate you. Like, you know what I'm saying, for being a part of something that wasn't it was just an idea, and you know what I'm saying, it's just taking shape. So I'm, like I said, I'm eternally grateful for the individuals that do support, known and unknown, with the show. But this is the 100th episode. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. There's so many things there that are they're there to distract us. We get distracted by the most minuscule shit, whether it's a new clothing brand, whether it's you know, maybe a video game, maybe it's like sports, or you know what I'm saying, distraction, food, you know what I mean, a new drink, a new alcohol, you know what I'm saying, new something, you know what I'm saying? There's always something that's preventing us from focusing on the issues at hand within our community. So why do you feel the black community has issues moving as a unit to get things done? Let's start it off from the beginning, dividing the black community. You know what I mean? By doing such things as going into our communities, removing our fathers, informing women, our black women, you know, from the Welfare Act, that they don't need no man in the house. So what you do is remove the one thing that keeps it all together, the leader, which is that of the black father, who is the, you know, the leader of his family. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, the woman, black woman, the woman in general is the backbone. You know what I mean? But the leader, you know, obviously, like I said, you know, I stand by the stance that being with the, you know, what's the point of being in a relationship if you're not going to allow a man to lead? When you do that, when you take out the leader, there's nobody to hold everybody together. And what that leaves is a bunch of individuals who don't have enough emotional intelligence to not, you know, control their emotions, and they respond, they lash out in an ineffective way. You know what I mean? Like, not something that can be considered effective, such as forming like a mutiny against the powers that be that hold back the black community. You know what I mean? One of my boys always says that until black people are ready to fuck up some shit together and be focused on some things, nothing is going to happen. In short, Marxism. If you don't know about Marxism, chaos. Create chaos and to get things done. Similar like that of a riot, you know what I mean? I'm not inciting we should riot by any means, you know what I mean? What I'm saying is that that's what would be like an example to me of Marxism, is that of like, you know, when you riot, such as like, you know, the Rodney King riots and things like that, you're causing change. Now, what I'm not a fan of is tearing down our own neighborhoods. That's what I'm not a fan of. But a little bit more on why the black community, why I believe the black community is not able to like come together as a unit to get shit done like as we should for our own people, you know what I mean, is we've been raised and taught and programmed to hate on one another. You're talking about crabs in a barrel. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us can relate, and you know, and other communities might have it too, but specifically we talking about the black folks in this thing. And you know, you got that crab in the barrel. Whenever you see somebody come up, you got a scarcity mindset, and it's like, man, this motherfucker getting on, man. Why I can't get on type shit, versus working on your own shit. You feel entitled to that person's success. And sometimes it can be family, sometimes it can be friends or enemies, whichever it is, you know what I'm saying? 50 has a very interesting quote in his book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, where he says, when the money starts coming out, when the money starts coming in, the knives start coming out. And I'm sure those of us, or those people that have endured such situations where you've come into success of some sort, and not even talking about millions of dollars, just something you might have done for yourself. Me, have started a show, started a podcast, started doing art, started doing photography, started doing a business, and then you have individuals that say things to kind of bring you down to their size, in the sense of, hey, maybe you started working out and someone made a statement about how you know, I could work out if I did, you know, whatever, if I have family or something like that, you know what I mean? But you gotta look at that as it can be considered intimidation. Somebody's intimidated by what the work you put forth. And it just goes to show that, because again, people don't talk about individuals that aren't doing shit. You know what I mean? They talk about individuals that are. And I say all that to say that it keeps us in a state of me versus you, instead of us versus them, or the system, or whatever you want to call it. So you constantly program us to hate one another. It's like to incite so many insecurities within one community due to trauma, which is why I employ all of us to go to fucking therapy. Because I say it once, I'll say it again. There is no one that needs therapy more than the descendants of fucking slaves. Like, there's so much that they beat into us. Like the fact that we can't even give a straight comment to people. You gotta be like, oh, you know, hey, you doing good or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can't just, or it's like, man, this motherfucker think he Joe College right here. Something like, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. Instead of just saying, you know what, man, I'm proud of your efforts. You know, I'm proud of what you're doing, what you got going on. And again, I don't really mean, I don't think people really, some people probably do, but I don't feel people mean, some people don't really mean anything by it. It's just how it gets delivered. And we're just made to like be very indirect with our comments in a lot of ways, expressing ourselves, and unless it's something vile or like or talking about somebody, we can tear people down directly. But as for compliments, it seems to be a very indirect thing in some parts of our community, and it can come from, again, you know, that house nigga field nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? Like where you feel like the individuals that are this, you know, are privy to a certain type of success, you feel inferior to that. So you feel the need to talk about that. But fuck the division. Let's try to get out. Like, let's lose the plantation mindset. You know what I mean? And have a mindset of freedom. Like, they don't even need chains anymore. They don't need physical chains anymore. They put them on our mind. Like, in order for us to really make something happen, like the powers that be, leaders, obviously, those of us who come up with the idea, those who change the world believe they're crazy enough to do so, and they go out and do it. And I look at what's been like such the issue. There's so many things there that are they're there to distract us. We get distracted by the most minuscule shit, whether it's a new clothing brand, whether it's maybe a video game, or maybe it's like sports, or distraction, food, you know what I mean? A new drink, a new alcohol, new something, There's always something that's preventing us from focusing on the issues at hand within our community. And of course, that was by design. I really do believe that was by design, for us to focus on shit that are just nothing but distractions versus getting to stuff. So when things happen within the Black community, like, again, having the courage to stand up and rise up against the police. Like, shout out to everybody that stood up with all those issues that came about, with people getting shot. I think we recently had a guy in Cleveland, another Black man, gunned down by the police, and being able to stand in that fight, like the likes of a Jamie Foxx, Steven Jackson, Tank, many other people, Kyrie Irving, many other people within the Black community, and even the ones that outside the Black community that were standing there, the whites, the Latinos, and Asians, like, having all of that is very, very important. And I loved what I saw maybe 2 years ago. I think it was summer of like 2020, where everyone was out there supporting, It wasn't like, it ain't my people type thing. There was everybody out there, and that's what it's gonna take. But that type of unity that we saw amongst all people, we need amongst our people. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck the dumb shit. Fuck the insecurities. Fuck the hating. Like, literally cheer on your brother, cheer on your sister about just making it, being successful, bettering yourself, healing. That's what I'm saying. Like, the sooner we get to therapy, the better off we'll be. The sooner we understand that nothing anyone does is about us. To not make assumptions, to not take things personal, to be impeccable with our word, and to always do our best. So basically, the 4 agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz is ultimately what I'm saying. But to be about trying to invoke change in the world, let alone America, where we live, it's going to take these things. It's going to take focus. It's going to take discipline. It's going to take patience. It's going to take forgiveness, for that matter. And it's going to take fucking passion and aggression as well, assertiveness, to get shit done. Because America itself wouldn't be America unless it fought. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're taught to not fight on a lot of stuff. Yeah, you wouldn't have America without the Revolutionary War. So until we're ready to start a revolution in America to try to get things done and be focused and not hate on an individual for what they have, not be distracted by what clothes this bitch got on or what clothes this nigga got on, or this person and that person, but focused and, have a game plan, be willing to listen to a well-fit leader in ways that we can better our community and move as a unit and get things done, get things accomplished. And what I'm saying, just move tightly. Like, you look at how when situations go down with the killing of the Asians in Georgia, I think that was last summer, 2 summers ago, or something like that. They listen, the Asians, I believe the Asians take care of their people. You know what I'm saying? And like seeing the support, and not to say that there's no support coming from the Black community. I don't want that to get misconstrued. But what I'm saying is that we know, like on a global scale, with us together, there's always that constant hate. I say all the time, you put enough people in the same room with insecurity, somebody's getting shot. All the time, you know what I mean? Like, it's just unfortunate, and I hate that it's like that. But it's by design. The system was created to make us hate one another, to be crabs in the barrel, to tear at each other, to be insecure, to hate on that individual, to resent that person, to be jealous, to be envious, all these things that were set up by a system a long time ago to almost continue the system of slavery, but now just from the mind, you know? So if we are able to see past it, see the bullshit, see how they want us to talk to each other, see how they want us to talk like we're not educated, see, and then not being taken seriously because we're talking like we're not educated, always being fit for entertainment. You can dribble the basketball, you can make people laugh, you can act in movies, but the second you speak out about something, shut up and dribble. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is so much that goes on that under our noses, and we're just not disciplined enough. I mean, think about all these clothing companies that come out and do some fucked up shit towards black people, right? And then you got some black folk that are like, yeah, we ain't wearing that shit. And then now they're questioning, well, can we wear it again? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to, like, some of us just feel like we have to be validated by these companies. You know what I'm saying? In order to be seen. And that's really what it boils down to. You know, we talked about being heard and loved, being seen. These clothes that we wear for validation, the Tommy Hilfigers, the Gucci, the whatever, J.E.T.Sense, all that stuff. I mean, J.E.T.Sense is a black company, but or maybe it's owned by Nike. I don't fucking know. I'm not gonna act like I'm following shit like that when it comes to J.E.T.Sense and Nike. But you get the point that I'm trying to make, that there has to be focus. We gotta have focus. And until we decide as a unit completely to have focus, to have discipline, to be able to manage our emotions a hell of a lot better, to make better decisions, to be more logical than emotional when it comes to making shit happen, we are going to stay in the same shit. But the day that we decide that, you know, my brother is my brother and not my enemy, and that the enemy is the system that's been placed upon us, that's when we'll make change. That's when you'll see change. Will that happen in this lifetime? Who the fuck knows? Maybe one of us has to be the one to lead it, to change the mind. Maybe this could be the seed that can be planted in someone's mind, you know, within the black community, within any community, to make change for the black community. It's gonna take more than just the black community to get things for the black community, just as much as it takes more than women to get, you know what I'm saying, something for this Roe versus Wade shit to be overturned, just the same as it is to, you know, for, again, LGBTQ shit. It's gonna take more than that, you know what I mean? More than just the LGBTQ to get shit done. Just take care of each other. There's enough life to go around. All right? You don't have to hate on an individual doing this shit. There's enough life to go around. There's enough success to go around. And all in all, you know what I'm saying, I'm wishing my people, you know, the black community, positive and healing energy. And let's just, you know, stay the course and become something. Whose voice plays in your head as you go through life? Well, in most cases, your parents' voice are the ones that go through life. And depending on how you were raised and what style of raising and parenting that you dealt with will determine how you interpret shit that happens to you. And I know for me, you know, I hear my father all the time, see, that's what you get. Shame, you know what I'm saying? There'll be shame all the time. So it's like trying to be perfect in order to receive love, in order to be seen, you know, or hearing my mom talk about clean that room like I like it. You know, I'm sure if my brother see this, he'd say the same thing. That's what she would always say. I would never forget having a dirty room. My mother had caution. She wrote like a funny note on my door, said caution before going into this room. Please be advised, it's dirty as hell or something like that. But you know, these voices that you have in your head, and us as parents, we don't fucking know, man. Honestly, we don't realize the ramifications of our actions a lot of times. Something is very, very little can be so traumatizing. You know, like pulling a knife out at a kid or some shit like that. Or, you know, saying that thunderstorms or God's gonna hurt you, and you know what I mean? These little different things. But you gotta ask yourself, how long do you want that voice to play in your head? Because you are in control. Once you recognize that whose voice that is, you can remove it just as much as you input anything. It's like a new CD, new album or anything like that. That music gets programmed into your mind. So what you can do is just subliminally you can listen to affirmations at night and subliminally program your mind to different shit. But all in all, it takes work. It takes work. It's not just gonna happen. And we get programmed when we're little, so by the time we're adults, we're just moving on a program. And again, autopilot. Like you wonder why, you know what I'm saying, you do this thing or why you talk this way and all that stuff. All of that shit I believe all that shit was rooted into in childhood. So now, you see yourself in a different way. You are able to visualize yourself as this person that's like in a lot more healthier form than that of probably what you came from. And again, there's no knock on you know what I'm saying, like parents or whoever's voice is in your head, but you have to decide, are you going to control your mind or is your mind going to control you? And recognize you're the observer, you know what I mean, like of your thoughts. You're the observer. You're not your thoughts. All right, you're not your emotions. You are the observer of that. And so when you hear these voices in your head, ask yourself, is it beneficial? And if it's not beneficial, remove that shit from your brain, because it's not going to help you in the long run. You know what I'm saying? You ever find yourself you make a mistake, and this mistake can be something that's just as small as texting the wrong word to somebody, and you just hold it over your head. That was by design, by some shit you went through. I believe some shit you went through in your childhood, adolescence, whatever. Maybe a toxic ass relationship, and that individual just made you feel like so low for making the smallest mistake. And recognize that it's a life lesson, not life sentence. So it's okay. Like, honestly, it's okay. Listen to your boy Ron. It's gonna be okay. Like, you have to reveal to heal. And so you have to admit that there is an issue in order to fix it. And once you do that, then you can start getting the ball rolling and becoming a better, your better self. I myself gone through that so much. I mean, I'm such a perfectionist. You know what I'm saying? I would freeze. That would be my thing. I guess flight. What is it? The perfectionist falls under flight, right? So yeah, I had to do everything right in order to be seen. I felt like I did. When you're the oldest, you know what I mean? Like, there's times where you can feel neglected. And when that happens, you make everything about you. That's what a child does. That's how a child works. A child thinks everything that happens is about them. No matter what the fuck is going on, you think it's about you. Parents get divorced, you think that's about you. You know what I mean? Like, ain't no food left in the Frigidaire. It's about you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no kid cuisine meals in the garage, in the freezer in the garage. It's so you think you make shit about you. You know what I'm saying? But the world does not revolve around you. That is nothing but the ego that is at stake when these things happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, your problems are no different than anybody else's problems. And the sooner you recognize that, the better off you'll be. But yeah, like I said, those voices that play in the mind, they can really be detrimental to everyday living if you allow it to. That's why I recommend, like Les Brown says, when you wake up in the morning, like as soon as you wake up in the morning, listening to inspirational, motivational speeches. You can find them on YouTube. If you got an iPhone, you can find them on like iTunes, motivational speeches. Just type that in, like, or listen to, or make, affirmations before you go to sleep. Record voice memos, just saying positive things to yourself. So when you get up in the morning, play that and let that be the first voice that you hear, so you can program your mind into being more positive. Because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take more work. And the way you do that work, that's one way of doing it. And but these, like I said, the voices that play in my mind, it really did they did a number on me. I will hold on to that. They became my voice. They became what I thought of myself. You know what I'm saying? I turned to others. I used to people. Well, I don't say probably part of me somewhat still people pleases, but I would turn to people to know how I feel about myself. You know what I'm saying? How crazy is that we do that? We look to other people for our self-esteem. Will Smith made that comment on the J.E.T.Sense podcast that he had, which is a really good interview as well. I recommend people checking that out. And but as you can see, how important mental health is in so many ways, that that we're trying to, like I said, tackle this shit and be in better moods for one. Because if we're in better moods, we'll treat people a hell of a lot better. And like I said, I'm just very hopeful. Looking forward to seeing these things take shape. I believe more seeds will be planted. I believe people are going to take mental health a hell of a lot more serious once they see the result. It's like working out. It's like you can't tell somebody to work out, but if you show them how you look after working out, they ask, how did you get it? So you got to be the example. You got to be the change that you want to see in the world. That's what we're trying to do, all of us in the tribe that's like about mental health and positivity, healing, and all that shit, and recognizing that nothing anyone does is about us, and we just focusing on betterment. That is it. Not going to be perfect, still going to make mistakes, might even hurt some people in the process, but we're chucking, we're moving forward, and you know what I'm saying, we're being we're recognizing forgiveness of ourselves, forgiveness of others, and yeah, that's it. So control those voices in your mind and move forward. Do you find it hard to admit when you're wrong about something? My ego does. I'll say that. Me personally, the observer inside, no. The observer will admit when wrong. But the triggered inner child, the ego that comes out, the ego wants to be perfect so that it can be loved. So I will defend, my ego will defend whatever's going on when it feels threatened, like to the fucking T. Because of just wanting to, again, like I said, that perfectionist shit. Like you're programmed to be like perfect. And because of that, you carry yourself in a way that can come off a bit brash, maybe narcissistic, self-centered, whatever you want to call it. And you're trying to protect yourself. Like you've been defending the ego, the wounded inner child has been defending itself since time began because of such trauma that was endured early on in life. And not the only one that has gone through such. But do I find it hard? It all depends on the conversation. Like, the way I see it, I'm like a lawyer. If you got information, if you make an accusation on me, I want homework, I want evidence, I want everything that you got to show me. And once you can show me that I'm at fault or whatever, I'll admit it. I have no problem like that. But don't make statements based off of your emotions and, you know what I'm saying, about me that are based off of emotion, not about the facts. And the facts don't give a fuck about feelings. You know what I'm saying? So just, like I said, I can say both, man. I honestly can say, like, I found it hard to apologize, or like for some things. You know what I'm saying? I found it hard to admit when I was wrong about something. Ultimately, like I said, ultimately the ego was the issue. And once you recognize it's the ego's no longer in charge, and you can see that you're the observer. You're just outside. It's almost like an out of body experience. Like you're watching yourself. Oh man, that ain't me. That's my ego. So, getting to a place where you're trying to see these things and be better. Try to be better, and that's what we're working towards every day. To be better, at least me. I'll say that. I definitely make mistakes. I hurt people. Unintentionally, because I'm not thinking about trying to intentionally hurt anybody. But it's called learning. It's failures, mistakes, and I can do my best to learn from them. You know what I mean? But you also have to be able to admit that you are causing pain, that you are making mistakes and these things, and not look at mistakes as that's the end of it. Like you're supposed to make mistakes. You're a human, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna continue to make mistakes, and the whole key is just to learn from said mistakes. So that's what I try to do. I try to learn from my mistakes, but part of me likes to, still hears that voice in my head of shame whenever I do make a mistake, like, now you won't be loved type shit. So I'll try to defend it at any cost, and that is just. I think it's just human nature to want to do so. You know what I'm saying? Like, your body keeps score. So it remembers everything that happened to you from adolescence. Even if you don't, the body does. The subconscious mind records every fucking thing that happens in repetition. You know what I'm saying? So if you saw certain behaviors as you were coming up, and you wonder why your body always flinch or some shit like that, or if you're constantly, ready to, to be in combat with somebody, maybe you were endured such a, a traumatic upbringing. And it doesn't have to just necessarily be that bad, but just that's what, that's where we're coming from with it. But being wrong. That's why I hate talking to people that are very about right and wrong, like, all the time, because their glass is full. They're not able to pour in whatever I have because they feel that they're right and I'm wrong. You know what I mean? And I prefer to have conversations with individuals that are about perspective, because perspective allows the other person to be heard. And that's all we really want to do. We really just want to be heard. We want to have a statement made, and then we might not necessarily agree with each other's statements and perspectives, but we can respect it enough. And let's just say something is brought up, facts, and then just have to admit that you're wrong. I'm like, no, Freddie Jackson, You Are My Lady came out in 1987. No, it came out in 1985. You see it, and you see that, Freddie Jackson's You Are My Lady came out in 1985. You gotta take that L, and you learn from it. And that's a good record, too. There's something that I want to say. That's my shit, by the way. I lost my train of thought thinking about goddamn Freddie Jackson. But, so finding it hard to admit when you're wrong. Like I said, really all the, honestly, for me, and it's based off of what I experienced growing up, it depends on how that individual responds. If they respond and like lashing out and shit, it's hard to admit it because it's triggering. It reminds me of being a little kid scolded for making a fucking mistake. And so, you tend to avoid, like your body, like I said, your body keeps score. So wherever you endured pain, your body is going to avoid dealing with it because you don't want to feel that pain again. You may not want to talk to a relative or a family member because of the pain they might have caused you. You may not want to go down, you may not want to eat a certain food again because of the trauma you got from the food poisoning. You may not want to go down a particular hallway because you fell the last time. Like your body is made to protect you from shit. The only thing about that is that sometimes it just wants you to always stay in the comfort zone, and there's no growth in the comfort zone whatsoever. So it's about facing, about facing fears. So another thing, and so what can be considered a fear? Being wrong. So just face it head on, admit that you're wrong, accept it, and just press on because it's life. You know what I'm saying? You're not always going to, say the right things. You're not always going to do the right things. But we can just do our best to work on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of focusing on everybody else, focus on ourselves. And that's how we help everybody else around us, by working on ourselves, admitting our faults, being able to admit when you're wrong, apologize when you may have caused pain to somebody, and recognizing it. But don't let people just blame you for everything. You know what I'm saying? Just you saying I'm sorry about shit. Like, you better have some facts. You know what I mean? Or just listen to an individual's perspective and then go from there. But all in all, do I have an issue admitting I'm wrong? No. But I'm not going down without a fight.